Hello, community. Happy Thursday to all of us. Welcome to today's community event. We are excited. We are thrilled having you all here with us today. As always, on this beautiful Thursday, these community events give us the opportunity to interact, to share, to inform, educate ourselves, to bring awareness to our industry, the crypto industry, to discuss anything that is directly or indirectly affecting us as a community, as a crypto industry, which is macroeconomics, interest rates, the monetary system that we have, and so on and so forth. And then we also discuss the industry, its challenges, and then break down the challenges and look at those challenges as an opportunity that we can provide solutions to on our platform, or rather through our platform. This is what these sessions are all about, to bring awareness, especially having such an amazing cutting edge technology known as the blockchain technology. And as the title gave it away today already, we're going to discuss global finance on blockchain. I believe it's a very important topic, as once more it's going to enlighten us as an industry, and of course as a community as well, on the importance of the tech side of the blockchain. We often minimizing the impact of the blockchain technology, and we're limiting it to just simple coins or tokens, right? It's so much more than just that. And there's so much more that can be built on top of it. And if used to its fullest potential, it can benefit all of us as an industry so much more. With that said, welcome those that are new in the community. We are very pleased to have you here with us today. Also, welcome to those that are veterans, consistently being with us in the community. We are happy having you here with us as well. As you know the drill, we always have the tweets out. So let's engage those who have not yet. Let's engage with the tweets. We all know the reason why. This is the best way to reach as many people as possible, bring awareness to our industry, and so that they can join our community. As one of our major pillars, one of our 4 pillars is education, right? We lay so much emphasis on education. This is why we do these weekly events 3 times a week. And then we have a Sunday special for the Queens, exclusively for the Queens as well. So we have 4 weekly events, right? Actually, and then we have daily Zooms as usual as well. So we are very, very heavily focusing on educating, empowering the community, because we understand that an informed and educated community is a strong community. So with that said, let's engage those who are not yet with the tweets. Bullrun, Survivor, Killer Whale, all 3 are out. And also, I appreciate your comments. I see them. And as they're coming in, we will go through them at the end. As right now, we'll want to jump right into today's topic, as there is quite a bit to cover for today. So let's get right to today's session, community, as there is quite a bit to discuss. With that said, let me share my screen, bear with me, and then let's kickstart. So as always, we always want to start with CoinMarketCap. Let's start with this and just look at the market. As we see, the market really has been dropping sincerely, considerably. We're actually down above 8%. That's how much the market has dropped. And of course, this is a very sentiment-driven, emotional-driven industry. And we're going to find out together, why is that the case? Why is the market dropping? And what's the cause, right? What made the market drop so much? Why is the market so spooked? Why is the market responding so negatively? Aren't we supposed to be going up because interest rates were cut yesterday? What's the cause? What's the reason, right? So as we progress throughout this session, we're going to analyze, we're going to really understand the reasons why. We're going to kickstart the session with analyzing and understanding the reason why. It's always very important because this will give us a sense of understanding. It will make things clearer for us to understand because in our community we lay a major emphasis on understanding things. If you understand something, why it's happening, where it's coming from, it gives you that clarity. So we're not based on emotions, we're not led by emotions because it's a very emotional industry, very emotional market led by fear and greed. So with that said, there's really not much to say. As we see, Bitcoin is below 97 right now at 96.7. It's Ethereum as well. It's down to 3,400. And as we see, the whole market is red. Everything is down, right? So it's beautiful to get this topic going and understand what's going on, right? What ravels the nest. And as we know, one thing just to take away, we always know what happens. People use a lot of leverage. So there's always liquidations. Every day there are liquidations happening, right? People who betting that the price of Bitcoin or Ethereum is going up, and then it doesn't go up. And then there's a snowball effect and everybody gets liquidated. Billions of dollars have been lost, have been wiped away just within the last few hours. And that's really, really sad. But that's just a takeaway. So always understand that liquidations happen. But beyond that, what really happened? So let's get understanding. Let's get this going. So the crypto market crashed. Oh, what was that? Why was that? Right. So there was a specific decision, like we discussed yesterday. Interest rates were cut by 0.25%, right? And this was expected. The market already priced this in. This is no news. This is everybody expected this. Actually, if we looked at Poly market, it was like at 97%. So the market anticipated this. They expected this to happen. So why is it still red? Why are people panicking, right? Well, it's because the Feds, they signaled that they would only implement, instead of 4, only 2 additional cuts in 2025, right? Initially, last FOMC meeting, they were discussing about cutting 4 times in 2025. Now it's 2 times, right? And of course, the market is spooked. And it's also citing that its focus is on controlling inflation, right? So, and also that the target of 2% inflation will not be hit until 2026 or 2027. But beyond that, what really is standing out, and what we really need to understand as well, and this really plays into understanding how economics work, how macroeconomy directly affects our industry, is this line right here, right? So the US equities market, right? Of course, the stock market, it plunged as well. Everything is red, not just crypto, stock market as well. The Dow Jones and the NASDAQ, which is most specifically tech companies, and Dow Jones is the largest one, they fell by 2%. For us in the crypto space, 2% is nothing, right? But because we are illiquid, but 2% on a very liquid market such as the stock market, it's a big deal. It's a big deal because stock market is in the trillions of dollars, right? $50 trillion market industry. So 2% of 50 trillion is big, right? Compared to 10% of a 2 trillion market. So, or a 3 trillion market. So it's a significant difference. So let's not get carried away by seeing a 2 here and thinking that it's not significant. It is significant, simply because the sheer size of the stock market. And then also what we need to take away here is that the treasury yields now, this is very important because one of the largest markets in the industry is the bond market, which is over 400 trillion. right? And ironically, and this is always inverse, as the stock market, the crypto market is dumping, is going down, 10-year yields are rising, right? They hit all-time highs, and the 30-year yield also climbed. Meanwhile, the US dollar soared, and it's as high as a two-year high. It soared to a 2-year high. So the dollar is strong. The bond yields are rising. So it's inverse, right? So people are fleeing to the dollar now. People are rushing to the dollar. And this is exactly what's happening. So in a nutshell, this is what mainstream so far is telling us, that it's the reason why, right? However, there is one more reason that really is causing the market to really drop. And not many, or I have not heard any major outlets talking about it, right? And this is this right here. So the drumbeats for a national strategic Bitcoin reserve. This is exactly the reason also why those who are in the know, those who really understand, those who are informed, know this, right? So one of the president's-elect's crypto-friendly campaign promises was national strategic Bitcoin reserve, right? And as the market always is in anticipation, starting November 5th on his election, this grew even louder, right, since his election. And since then, Bitcoin has really rallied more than 45%. And it really, that's when it took off and even hit all-time highs, crossed 100,000, and so on and so forth, right? As hopeful investors bet the establishment of one will further boost its price, right? So everybody was going really in being hopeful that the promise of the president-elect was that a national strategic Bitcoin reserve was going to be put in place. This will boost Bitcoin even further. It will hit millions of dollars, right? So, however, there is some doubt that the US will actually establish a Bitcoin reserve. Or if it does, that it will not even be the first to do so. Nonetheless, the idea that it could be a positive market catalyst in the next year, this, of course, drives other nations to establish one, whether or not the US follows through or not. And let's keep in mind that the US, they hold the global reserve currency. So the US really, in itself, they have the power of being the global reserve currency, meaning no other country can print US dollars. They're using it globally, but they can't print it. Only US can. So that alone gives the US a really strong arm in all of this. So let's also keep that in mind. So anyway, it's unlikely to occur, but it helps get the animal spirit back into the market. Animal spirit. Remember when we looked at crypto coin market cap? Remember when we looked at the coin market cap? Like we said, there's some, it helps to get animal spirit, it says here, right? And adding that it also unlikely to drive the price gains. And they don't expect the US government will purchase Bitcoin in any meaningful capacity. However, it's an item that drives excitement and optimism. So all of this is done just to bring FOMO, to bring excitement, to bring optimism. However, the insiders already know that this is not even going to happen. It's not going to happen. And let's not take this article's word for it, even though it's from CNBC itself, right? This is from CNBC itself. But like we always say, let's not take its word for it. Let's fact check. Let's even go further than this, right? And to do that, we need to identify certain things. To do that, I would like us to, for those who can't remember, I would like us to understand one thing. I would like to share this with you just briefly. For those, it's just a minute or so. In our last community event, that was on the 16th, right? So 3 days ago, we discussed how 2025, the outlook of 2025 is going to be. And we set the stage and we discussed how the priorities that we think, in our humble opinion, we believe that these will be the priorities come 2025. And this is what 2025 will be all about, right? And it's just like a minute or so. I'd like to play this to you. I hope you can hear the audio. Let's start with this statement. The statement of the day is 2025 is the year of 3 major events. The first one, and this is our continuation of our last community event, is just building on top of it and getting into more details now, calling things and just painting a clearer picture. The first one is the most obvious, and without this first one, there is no second and third one either. So it takes this first one to take place first. That's regulation, clarity in terms of regulation. And without this first one, like we say, there is no second one. So the second one is Ethereum, the blockchain, Ethereum itself. And without the first and the second one, there is no third one. So there has to be regulation, and then regulation on Ethereum specifically, and then also more on Ethereum. And then after regulation and Ethereum, now we can do the third one. And that's DeFi, Decentralized Finance. So these are the 3 futures, 3 events that we are going to look at in details today. And this is what's going to carry us through today's session. As always, all right, community. This was just as a reminder for those who have maybe were not part of this and did not participate in this community event. It was just a refresher for us to really just be on the same page and understand that, in our humble opinion, 3 days ago, right, on the 16th, like we saw and listened, we were highlighting 3 possible futures that will be the focus of 2025. Now, here is an interview just 22 hours ago. As you see here, it's a new video, just came out 22 hours ago. This was an interview of one of the officials elected, a chairman elected that will take office this new administration next month, right? So in the new year, 2025. And this is an individual that was elected. His name is French Hill. And before we listen to this, just a few minutes, it's very important for us to really understand this. But before we really tap into this, we need to understand who is French Hill, so that everything makes sense. So let's first establish who is French Hill. What does he do? What's his position? And what is this individual's stance in terms of crypto? So who is French Hill? The Financial Service Committee's new crypto leader, right? So he's the new leader of the financial services, right? As we see here, he's the Cryptocurrencies cheerleader, French Hill. He wins the top congressional financial post. So he's a House representative. He's in the Congress, right? He's in the Congress, as we see here, right? Cryptocurrency cheerleader French Hill wins top congressional financial post. All right, so let's understand who is this, right? So if we may share here, so Congressman French Hill, known for his strong support of Cryptocurrencies, has been chosen by Republicans as chairman of the House Financial Services Committee, right? And he recently had an interview on CNBC, and this is what I previously showed you earlier. We're going to just tune in a little bit, and just listen to 1 or 2 minutes out of those videos, and just pick his brain. What's his agenda? What are his plans? So on and so forth. So anyway, Hill highlighted that cryptocurrency regulation will be one of his top priorities as chairman of the committee in 2025. And the crypto community, of course, they're in high hopes that who has been an active advocate for the cryptocurrency industry and has worked tirelessly in promoting legislation that favors the growth and stability of the digital asset market, will contribute to the establishment of a legal framework for cryptocurrencies during the first 100 years of Donald Trump's administration. So this is what us crypto enthusiasts are looking forward to. We're hopeful and all of that. Now, keep in mind, we are addressing the article we read earlier that the reserve currency might not be Bitcoin reserve or stockpile might not be in full place. And even though Trump promised that, and that's what pushed the markets over 45% in anticipation, that might not be the case. So keep that in mind. We're just establishing and understanding who this individual really is, right? So now let's start from scratch again. Remember how we said we just listened in on the Twitter space, on our last Twitter space on Monday, 3 days ago. Let's now tune back to this section that I would like us to listen in. We established that there were 3 major focus points that we discussed, right? So here is French Hill, and let's see what his ambitions are and what are his priorities, right? Now, keep in mind, this 22 hours ago. This is a new video that just came out. They're at a summit right now that took place yesterday. So let's tune in.
Well, Congressman, thank you so much for joining me
today.
Thanks
for having me.
You have said on our air recently that crypto is one of your top priorities for 2025. And within crypto, what are your top priorities, your top 3 priorities for the industry?
Right. Well, 2 principal ones. One is that we get a dollar-backed stablecoin authorization in federal law, that we set the rules of the road of how to have a dollar-backed stablecoin here used in America, with the right auditing, the right transparency, the right security features to it, because I think the world will gravitate to that. We've already seen outside the United States the powerful use of dollar-backed stablecoins. Think about how powerful that would be if it were under the laws of the United States in our economy. Secondly is market structure for digital assets. This was, I think, a critical component. It's the source of a lot of litigation. It's a support, the lack of it is a contributor to the fact that coders are moving offshore, companies are moving projects offshore, and investment is leaving the United States. So a market structure for digital assets lays out the rules of the road. What's a tokenized commodity versus what's covered by the securities laws? It makes clear who can be a broker, who can be a custodian, how is an exchange there, how are these tokens traded, and so I think that's a really important feature. Those are the top 2 priorities. A third might be that we explore how tokenization of real-world assets and NFTs fit in the economy generally, and what's the general view about that from a federal point of view.
So, community, as we clearly heard, is that he has 3 major focuses and priorities. The first one, obviously, is regulation on stablecoins. Stablecoins play a major role. And where are the majority of stablecoins? They're on Ethereum, right? So first priority is stablecoin. And another thing is market structure. And he explained that what he means with market structure is he wants regulation, clarity on what is a security, what is a commodity, who can custody which digital assets, and exchanges, what can they do, what licenses do they need, so on and so forth. Bring clarity on that. And then third and finally, his priority also is RWAs, real world assets. Where are all those where is real world assets? Where are all the majority of the stable coins and majority of the real world assets? And who benefits from all these regulations primarily? Those things take place on Ethereum, right? And we'll take it step by step. We'll get there. We'll get there. But right now, I just wanted us to see, okay, these are the 3 priorities that are going to play a major part in his administration. This is what he's going to focus on primarily come 2025, right? So far, no mention of Bitcoin whatsoever, right? So this individual, this lady then pushed him further and wanted to know about, well, what about Bitcoin? What about the reserve, like people are talking about, right? What about the stockpile and all of that? And this is exactly what was asked of him here. And let's tune in and listen on his response.
Strategic Bitcoin reserve. What are your thoughts on that? And specifically, what value do you think that would have for the U.S. Treasury?
I remain interested in the idea, but not convinced that that's something that benefits the U.S. balance sheet per se.
What gives you pause?
I think I know very little about the legal process for.
So community, just in case, I'm not sure how good the audio is. He was asked what he thinks about the reserve, right? And he's saying here that, well, yeah, he's interested. However, he's not convinced, right? He's not convinced that that's something that the U.S. needs or that it will help the U.S. having on the balance sheet. Let's continue listening.
Adding something like that to the Treasury's balance sheet. I mean, you have many assets that have long-term permanent value that are not on the Fed's balance sheet. And so it's just an intriguing proposition to think that suddenly Bitcoin should be. So I think that's something that Congress will look at. I think you'll hear discussion about it. And I'm open-minded about the idea. I was with President Trump in Nashville when Senator Loomis floated the idea. And President Trump's view was, well, if we own Bitcoin in the federal government due to a legal action, we ought to hold on to it. So I think we'll see what the Treasury under the Trump administration has to say.
Well, so at that conference, you used the word stockpile. Do you feel any differently about a stockpile versus a reserve?
No, I don't. I just think it's typically in the federal government, we try to release things that we have back to the private sector for use and not pile them up on the balance sheets at the Fed or the Treasury. So that's why I think it's an idea that is be interesting to talk about.
So the second thing, when the lady asked him, well, what about the stockpile? Maybe I'm not using the right word. So you use the word stockpile at the convention. Are you planning on holding on to Bitcoin, And he clearly said, no. I mean, that's not usually what they do. They don't hold on to assets. They usually sell it back out to the public, right?
Well, a lot of excitement around that idea, definitely, of a strategic Bitcoin reserve. There are, countries internationally who are thinking about it. We've started to see states, Pennsylvania and Texas, introduce legislation, to kind of be the leaders on that front. Is there anything that would make you start to feel the pressure to help the U.S. be first to do that?
Well, it's not about feeling the pressure. It's about doing the homework necessary statutorily and legally to find the benefit to the United States government for that. And hearing the views of the incoming administration will be helpful to that.
Wow, that was a heavy one to digest, because as you heard at the end, the lady was like, okay, don't you feel pressured? Don't you see that maybe the US will be under pressure to accept or to embrace it? And he's like, it's not about pressure. It's about doing your homework. Basically was saying, like, you need to understand what you're getting involved with. It's not just about rushing into things, right? It's about understanding what you're getting involved with, what you get yourself involved with. That's exactly what they were, what she was suggesting, right? So these are the reasons, community. This is exactly what caused the market to really be spooked, right? Because everything that the market was rushing for and hoping that would be a reality, we see that the cheerleader and the chairman of actually the one in charge of the regulations come 2025, that is pro crypto, that is pro regulation, that is will be in charge of putting in frameworks, regulations, and that laid out his priorities, his three priorities, which is stablecoin regulations, which is which is market structures, which is that means basically that we need to identify who can custody what, which digital assets, and how about exchanges? What licenses do they need, right? So on and so forth, and just bring clarity in terms of what is a security, what is a commodity, and then thirdly, real world assets. So that's something that is on his priority list. And in terms of Bitcoin, he said he's interested, but he's not convinced. And they, in terms of stockpile, they are not going to, usually they don't hold on for, they don't hodl forever. You know, they usually sell back those assets into the public. And when asked and pressured on, oh, don't you feel the pressure that you should do something and with Bitcoin? And he's like, it's not about feeling the pressure. It's about doing your homework, you know, and understanding what you get yourself involved with. Don't just rush things and get into things just because everybody wants it, right? But you should do your homework and understand what you're getting yourself involved with. And basically was saying, well, many people didn't do their homeworks, right? So if it's not good enough for Microsoft, who like by far rejected that option, why should it be good enough for a country, the global, the country that holds the global reserve currency? So that's just to highlight why the markets are so red, and just for us to have an idea what's been happening behind the scenes and what the incoming chairman agenda is, and what he thinks about the reserve that Trump actually promised the Bitcoiners to do so, right? So with that said, community, let's jump to today's real topic, global finance on blockchain. So global finance on blockchain, community. First of all, what we need to understand is that if you want to control global finance, and if you want to remain dominant as the global reserve currency in case for US right now, what would you do? Or what are they supposed to do? Like just using healthy human common sense, right? You would want to build an infrastructure with the technology that we have today. What would be an option, right? You would want to build a strong infrastructure, right? Using the blockchain technology. And preferably you would want to pick the largest one in terms of devs, one that uses smart contracts. And you would want to have one wide the devs, because you have ones that many people already on that blockchain that can develop things, that can build things, that can code, program applications, right? And such as real world assets, stable coins, and also important is regulation, like French Hill already said. It's very, very important that you build regulations that are backing that up. And also these three are more than enough. However, especially having large institutions such as Amazon or Google or Microsoft to build and support the backbone of the infrastructure for Ethereum in this case, for example. And once regulators enable Ethereum staking, for example, now you have the largest smart contract blockchain. You have the backing of governments through regulations. You have infrastructures built by market leaders such as Amazon, Google, or Microsoft. You have BlackRock's real world assets. You have stable coins on there. You have DeFi on there. So now, before you know it, you realize that that's exactly what's needed to have a lively, a dynamic industry, and this is how you would build one, right? If you want to maintain the challenge. Now, but let's understand it. Let's take a step back and understand and verify all of this, right? This is just us, our humble opinion, what we would think that would be plausible or would make sense. But as always, we don't like to just put out statements like that. Let's verify that, what we just said. Let's verify if that's the case. And if that's exactly what would happen, what would be done. So before we kickstart, let's understand blockchain and what it means. What does global finance on blockchain really mean, right? So blockchain can provide transparency, accuracy, and accountability in existing financial systems, right? Which could act to bolster and strengthen the global economy. However, the true obstacle to integrating blockchain or a similar technology in the global financial system lies not in the difficulty of programming or securing blockchains, as some might suggest, like we say, right? The difficulty is disrupting the profitability the existing system promises for those already profiting from it. So as we see here, the technology is already here, community, like we always say. The tech is here. It's for us to embrace it, to use it to its fullest potential. That's not the challenge. The challenge and the difficulty, like the article says, is disrupting the profitability of existing systems. The existing market leaders, the existing infrastructures that are already in the traditional infrastructures. So the challenge here is that how do these large players that are already profiting so heavily and have these large market caps, large market shares, how are they going to leave out on that and start fresh, start from scratch again? That's the challenge, right? That's the challenge. And let's keep this in mind. Now, I want us to look at this article. This is a very interesting article, community, that I'm so glad to share with you because, first of all, where it's coming from. It's not some random article. This is from the World Economic Forum, right? This article is from the World Economic Forum. I'm sure we are all familiar with the World Economic Forum. It's based in Switzerland, in Davos. It takes part once a year, annually. Global leaders, market leaders, industry leaders, politicians are meeting once a year, annually, and discuss the future of the economy, of global economy. So this article literally is the blueprint of what's coming, right? Whatever they discuss and agree, they sit there and then plan on how the world economy is going to take, which steps it's going to take next, how it's going to evolve, right? So articles from World Economic Forums are very, very, not just interesting, but we need to take them seriously. We need to really understand them because they're literally giving us a blueprint of what's coming. So this article says how tokenization is transforming global finance, right, and investment. So it's ironic that who do we know in the financial market? And coincidentally, is the largest asset manager, is the CEO of the largest asset manager that is always campaigning on tokenizing everything. So there is an agenda that is beyond Larry Fink. It's beyond BlackRock. This is now a topic for World Economic Forum. This is something they decided on. This is set on stone. This is happening. Tokenization. Now, always ask yourself, where will this take place? On which platform? Where is tokenization taking place? Right? Okay, so let's just touch some base here. So tokenization, the tokenization of financial assets on the blockchain is gaining momentum at an institutional and government level. So this is real. So it's not just a buzz like we've been discussing in our community events. This is real. This is here to stay. It's Governments and institutions are all going all in on tokenization. But why? Why are they doing that? It's because physical and financial assets can be tokenized, meaning that a digital representation of the assets are created on the blockchain to allow them to be exchanged securely in real time, right? No more business hours, no more holidays. You can exchange them. You can interact with them. But let's understand this even more. Now, after years of investments, so only because things don't hit mainstream and we're not being flooded with news and updates doesn't mean that they haven't been working for years behind the scenes. So they've been working on this for years. They have proof of concept, they've been testing everything, and the planets are aligning. And tokenization of financial assets is finally happening at an institutional and government level. This is the World Economic Forum. It's happening. They've been working on it for years. They have a proof of concept. They've been testing it. Planets are aligning. Boom, it's here. So this shift will forever change the way that nations trade and promote more inclusive financial participation. So this is great. This is great. But let's look at something very interesting here that I really want us to understand. Excuse me. First thing is the business case for tokenization. What's the first word we read here? Smart contracts. That alone gives it away, community. This is big. World Economic Forum, business case, tokenization, first word, smart contracts. Which is the largest smart contract blockchain? Needless to say, we all should be aware of it. Smart contracts, the largest blockchain for smart contracts with the most liquidity, most developers, most locked value, most stable coins, it's Ethereum, right? So the business case is that smart contracts and automated processes in different areas could propel estimated annual global savings. So just using the blockchain technology alone, it's estimated to save between 15 to 20 billion dollars just by adopting and using it. Before anything else, just using it alone, embracing it, will save up to 20 billion dollars. The need for shortened settlement cycles, which improve liquidity. This is not me saying it now. This is the article talking about liquidity. For once, it's not me talking about liquidity, it's the article. So they want to enhance liquidity, improve liquidity, enhance efficiency. These are things we often talk about in relation to our ecosystem, right? We talk a lot about liquidity. We talk a lot about efficiency, right? And the demand for 24/7 market operations. Now, this is where it gets interesting. What will it require for all of that? What will it require for liquidity? What will it require to be efficient and lower systemic risks? And the demand for 24/7 market operations. What will it require? It will require a new infrastructural backbone. Let's keep this in mind because this is taking us somewhere. It will need a whole new infrastructure, community. It will need a whole new infrastructure. But this will address the risks in today's systems, which use different technologies and lack of atomic network connectivity and blockchain networks, right? Thereby creating technology silos that create friction when processing transactions. But now this is even more interesting. By using distributed ledger technology, known as the blockchain technology, for what? For collateral management. Now it's getting interesting, community. So what we have keywords here is we will need a new infrastructural backbone. For what? Collateral management. Why? Because financial institutions can free up substantial capital, estimated by roughly 100 billion annually. just by being or using the blockchain technology. Let's read some more. And let's keep these two things in mind. We'll come back to this. Requiring infrastructure backbone and collateral management. So, okay. The collaboration is crucial to mobilize tokenized assets and connecting across participants and global markets and so on and so forth. So what we need to understand here is that the financial infrastructure operates in much the same way it has for decades, relying on the same message-based system pioneered back in the 70s. So the infrastructure is old. It's as old as back in the 70s. And to do all of this, we need a new infrastructure backbone. This is why we need a new infrastructure backbone. And that backbone, that user infrastructure, is going to facilitate collateral management. But as we speak today, we're still using the pioneered messaging systems from the 70s. However, the distributed ledger technology, also known as the blockchain technology, can bring our capital markets infrastructure into the 21st century by streamlining, automating manual and time-consuming processes, right? And this will reduce operational costs, it will improve efficiencies, here we are again, and it will eliminate settlement risks, right? Are amongst the biggest reasons why tokenizing assets has generated so much interest from major financial institutions. And we'll get to which ones, which are the large financial institutions. We'll get there. One last thing I want us to look at here, and is this right here. Moving from theory to practice. They have a proof of concept. They've been working on it for years. It's here now. So they're moving from theory, now they're into practice. So as tokenization can unlock, what is tokenization unlocking? Collateral. This is what it's all about at the end of the day. And today, look at how large the market is. Marketable securities, 255 trillion right now, are in demand for use as what? As collateral. So 255 trillion is just sitting around, and there's a demand for it to be used as collateral. But only 1/10 of it, roughly 29 trillion, is actively being used, right? Unlocking even a small percentage would have a transformative impact on how trades are finalized, right? And this will reduce risk, and what else? Free liquidity, right? And opening new ways for investors to earn returns, right? So let's go back to what we said we have to come back to. All of this is beautiful. It sounds great. And they have the proven concept. They have been working on it. But one takeaway here is it needs a smart contract. It needs to be automated through smart contracts. We need a new infrastructural backbone. And we need it for collateral management. Keep all of this in mind, right? Infrastructure, smart contracts, collateral management. So this brings us here. Why? What's the title here? Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon are quietly positioning for crypto dominance, right? Beautiful article. And already highlighted in blue is Amazon's connection to crypto isn't new. The company previously purchased blockchain-related domain names like we say here, Amazon, Ethereum.org. Interesting. Steering excitement over potential blockchain projects. If Amazon takes the leap, it could become the first FANG stock to publicly declare Bitcoin holdings. They're talking about Bitcoin, but the domain name has nothing to do with Bitcoin. It has to do with Ethereum. It's Amazon Ethereum.org, right? So just to understand what point we're trying to make here, and FANG just stands for Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google, right? So amongst the giants, amongst the 5 giants, they'll be the first one to really get their toes into crypto deep, not just toes, but go knees deep, right? So why am I highlighting Ethereum so much? Because of this. You might say, oh, Steve, you're reaching too far. You're reading too much between the lines. Okay. As highlighted in our recent market reports, AWS stands for Amazon Web Services, remains the dominant player in cloud wars with who? Google platform and Amazon, right? So in fact, among the top 10 cloud platform providers, AWS market share is the largest. We know this by now, clocking in at right above 50%. So AWS began offering IT infrastructure services in the form of web services since the last 18 years now, going to 19 years. So AWS, Amazon, they are known and they've been offering IT infrastructure services. Now, as we see here, AWS began offering IT services infrastructure, right, in the form of web services in 2006. Now, why is this so interesting? Why is it so important for us to highlight that AWS is offering IT services? They've been offering this since 2006, and they remain dominant players, right? And also, the cloud infrastructure service market remains highly dynamic as Microsoft and Google compete with AWS for increased cloud spending, right? So why is this so interesting for us? Because they offer infrastructure, IT infrastructure. And what did we read here that World Economic is talking about? For us to even get started and get the tokenization going, we need smart contracts, which is the largest smart contract, a blockchain, Ethereum, right? We need, what else did we see here? A new infrastructure, backbone. That's what we need. Before we have infrastructure, there is no way we can do the tokenization. So we need smart contracts. We need a new infrastructure backbone, and we need that for what? For collateral management, right? So let's continue here. The point we're trying to make here is that Amazon is positioning itself, and they've always been the leaders among the peers. They've always been ahead of the competition all the time, always. And what we need to understand here is that exactly. So 2 years before Google Cloud. So they did theirs, they started in 2006, 2 years before Google even, and 4 years before Microsoft. What does this tell us? It tells us that Amazon always has been the pioneer, right? So the launch of Amazon made it a fast mover. There you go. They've always been the fast mover in everything, in terms of infrastructure, IT, cloud computing. They went through internet, they went through mobile technology, now they're into cloud computing, and they've always been the fast mover and persistent innovator and market leader in cloud infrastructure. I want us to understand this. They are the leaders in cloud infrastructure. Ever since AWS has surpassed its competitors with consistent year-over-year growth in cloud revenue and customer count. So they are completely dominating this industry, single-handedly. Really, they're dominating. And so understanding all of this, are we really surprised that we see them securing a blockchain-related domain known as amazonethereum.org? Why are we surprised? They've always been pioneers. And also, they understand, and obviously Amazon is they have a seat here. Jeff Bezos is one of those World Economic Forum participants that participate in these meetings. And they know that in order for our tokenization to take place, in order for it to take off, we already did all the testings, everything is ready to go, but now we need smart contracts, we need a new infrastructure backbone, and we need it for collateral management. So Bezos, go ahead, secure yourself a domain name, get to work. You're already the market leader in terms of cloud computing. This is something that is going to generate revenue because you're building infrastructure for global economy, for global finance, using the largest smart contract blockchain as your playground. You'll be earning passive incomes from subscriptions, as you always do already in the real world. So they don't have to worry about losing their market share. They're already just doing the same thing they're already market leaders in, and now they're doing it on the blockchain. So it's not like they're going to lose any market share whatsoever. So this is exactly what's happening. So don't take my word for it. Let's take it now a step further. Let's take it a step further. Now that we know all of this, let's take it a step further. Remember, let me remind us again. Let's come back here and remind us. Remember that now that we established where the smart contract is on, it's on Ethereum. Now we know who it will be, because they require a new infrastructure. Now we know who is going to build it. We know where it's going to be built on a smart contract. Now, the question we need to answer is, for collateral management, who is going to solve this part? This is when now BlackRock comes into play. And this is all happening right in front of our faces, right? So BlackRock, they're integrating their Biddle fund that they had for what? What a surprise, as collateral. And they're doing that on the largest blockchain exchange in the world, Binance, and then also OKC, and so on and so forth, right? So BlackRock's Biddle fund targets institutional investors with a 5 million minimum investment. And also here, Biddle token by BlackRock aims to simplify crypto derivatives trading by serving as a new form of what? New form of collateral. Didn't we just read in the World Economic Forum article that that's what it's for? That's the end game, is to use tokenized assets as collateral. And who is the market leader in terms of collateralization? It's BlackRock. And its liquidity fund, Biddle, is the one that is literally being used as collateral, for collateral, right? So BlackRock is advancing into the crypto derivatives market. Why are they into derivatives market? Because it's a $1 quadrillion market. It's a huge market. It's the largest market. And they want to use all this tokenization, all these tokenized assets as a collateral. They've been testing it for years. They've been working on it for years, and now it's here to go. Now what we need is give assignments. Amazon already secured Amazon Ethereum.org. You in charge of infrastructure. We already picked Ethereum because we need smart contracts. So we picked the largest smart contract blockchain. Now, who is responsible for collateral? BlackRock. You're the largest asset manager. You in charge of Biddle. Create a liquidity fund, the largest one, and then let's use that as collateral. Let's give it over to JP Morgan, and they already have a network also on Ethereum to use that as collateral. Boom. We just read the agenda from World Economic Forum, and we went through 3 different articles showing us how Amazon already secured the domain name, Amazon Ethereum, because they need infrastructure, a new backbone. They're working, the current financial system is working on a very, very old, let's go back here. They're working on a very old, like we saw here, one from the 70s, right? They need a new financial infrastructure that operates in much the same way for decades. They still rely on old systems back in the 70s, but the digital ledger technology is going to bring us new infrastructure into the 21st century. So This is just telling us, and there is the reason why. 255 trillion. This is just what's in demand to be used as collateral, right? And also the derivatives market, like we just saw that BlackRock wants to get into, right? They want to get into the derivatives market. So now that we understand this, don't take my word for it. Let's verify what we just said. If we start with RWA, right? And keep in mind, this is what French Hill was talking about. This is in his top 3 agendas: stablecoin, market structure, and RWAs. So where is RWA? On which platform is it? You see here, number 1, it's on Ethereum. What market share does Ethereum have in terms of RWA? 76.5%. So it's literally completely dominating, because the second largest one has 6%. 6. They have 76.5%. So where do you think RWA is going to take place? Obviously, it's going to take place on Ethereum. So tokenization are RWA. Real world assets are, that's the meaning of tokenization. And they're building an infrastructure. They're telling us they need an infrastructure built. This is why Amazon already secured Amazon Ethereum, because they know that this is where the infrastructure, the RWA, is market leaders. They have the largest market share. Amazon is not going to go to Stellar with the 6 market share. They're going to go to the largest smart contract blockchain. They're going to go to one that have the most developers, that already has the deepest liquidity. What about stablecoins? Also on Ethereum, dominating. We can look at that right here. We'll look at that at the end, community. And then if you look at US Treasury, the bond market, which is 400 trillion, where is it? It's on Ethereum as well. Majority is on Ethereum. So community, what are we seeing here? This is very interesting what we're seeing here, community, because the global market, there's even the global market overview, it's literally led by RWA. RWA is a big deal, real world assets. Like we saw, it's on the agenda of the World Economic Forum. They are literally telling us what they need here. They're literally telling us step by step what they're planning to do here. And it's right in front of us. And they say that they want business case for tokenization. So tokenization is not just Larry Fink's agenda or BlackRock's agenda. This is the World Economic Forum's agenda. They made their choice. They want the smart contracts. And this is why Ethereum is the largest smart contract blockchain. Like we saw, they are dominating RWAs, 76.5%. They also need new infrastructure. Who is the largest infrastructure developer? It's Amazon. They're already secured. Like we see here, the domain name, ready to go, right? They're ready to go. What else do we know? We know that Amazon not only is a market leader, but they're the fast mover. And we also know that they've been the fast movers 2 years before Google and 4 years before Microsoft. So they're always the first one to make the moves. So that means that once Amazon is official, guess who's going to follow? As usual, it's going to be Google next, and then Microsoft. Microsoft already voted 0.5% wanted to embrace Bitcoin. So 99.95% said no to Bitcoin. And now you see why. And even the regulator, French Hill, said Bitcoin Reserve doesn't even, it's interesting, but it's not, he's not convinced. And they don't hold on to piles. They don't hodl. The government doesn't hodl. They sell things back, assets right back to the public. And then finally, when pushed that, hey, don't you think you're going to be pressured by others? It's not about being pressured. It's about doing your homework. and making the right choices, and basically telling them that you must have not been at the meeting, you must have missed the memo, because we are talking about smart contracts here. This has nothing to do with Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't have smart contracts. You must have really not done your homework. And building new infrastructures, this is going to be built on top of the largest smart contract blockchain, and it will be used as collateral. That's what we need. This is the agenda. Everything is right here in front of us. Right here in front of us. And now that we understand that, we can take this even further, community. Now, what does this mean? Once regulations go through, this article says that staking yields could become a major driver of inflows into spot Ethereum ETFs. So institutional demand for Ethereum could increase significantly. Let me take a step back. Now that we understand that, and we verified the statement that we said earlier, that what would you do if you want to control the global finance and remain dominant? Wouldn't you want to build an infrastructure behind the largest proof of stake blockchain? Wouldn't you want to have large market leaders such as BlackRock for your RWA, real world assets? Wouldn't you want to have dominating stablecoins and have infrastructures built by the likes of Amazon, Google, or Microsoft? Everything is right in front of us, community, and it's happening right in front of us. So this is not wishful thinking. This is not make-believe. These are facts, but it's just not mainstream yet, right? They're not coming out and telling us that, but we don't have to wait until they say it. You have to understand it or know it before it's even mainstream, right? If it's mainstream, it's not news. Everybody now knows, right? But the trick is always to anticipate things before it hits mainstream. And this is exactly what these sessions are all about, is to help us learn how to see things before they happen, how to anticipate things, how to read the markets, how to connect the dots and see how these things are playing out in front of our faces, in front of our eyes. So when we see the markets bleeding like this, we don't panic, and we don't ask ourselves, why is this happening? But we lean back and we just understand what's happening. We see exactly what's happening, why it's happening, and why we shouldn't panic, right? And this is exactly the reason why we do these sessions, so that we can inform and educate each other and inspire each other, so that we are rational, remain level-headed. Even if the market is bleeding like this, down by almost 9% in the last 24 hours, we know why and we see why. So why are we panicking? We know exactly what's coming. We know what's happening. And that's the whole idea. So let's just finish this. So as staking-enabled ETFs provide a direct incentives for what? For long-term holding, reducing circulating supply and enhancing Ethereum's appeal as a yield-generating investment. And this is very interesting here. So they say that the second Trump administration ushers in a crypto-friendly SEC that paves the way for spot Ethereum ETF staking. And the digital asset currently staking yield could rise. Why? Because if you have a strong infrastructure, you have liquidity coming in through BlackRock, through collateral, and that makes Ethereum deflationary. If Ethereum is deflationary, its staking yield rises, right? And its current 3% yield, which could rise to up to 5%, with a boost in blockchain activity. And how do you boost activity? You need liquidity and you need solid infrastructure. And if you have the likes of Amazon headlining that, oh, Amazon is building, they already secured the domain name for Ethereum, they are building the infrastructure for Ethereum because it's on the agenda of the World Economic Forum, and the agenda is to initially, or rather eventually, have all these tokenized assets being used in the derivatives market as collateral. And they chose the largest smart contract blockchain, Ethereum, to do that. And Amazon is the market leaders in cloud computing and IT infrastructure. They are assigned to build the infrastructure, followed by by Google and Amazon. Google and Microsoft later on as well. And this is why Microsoft, by 99.95%, rejected Bitcoin, because they're more interested in liquid assets that give you a steady yield. And Ethereum fits that bill. And this is why analysts like Bernstein are anticipating that Ethereum ETF staking will be a more attractive investment for institutions, right? These are not my words. These are Bernstein's words, right? That it could rise to up to 5%, and this will with the boost in blockchain activity, and increasingly attractive, offering a compelling return for investors while benefiting asset managers through improved ETF economics, right? And to just make it as blunt as possible, this is now Bitcoin Swiss, right? Like we said, one of its biggest projections, Bitcoin Swiss's projections. Let me share this. So this is Bitcoin Swiss right here. Their biggest projection is that for 2025 is that Ethereum staking ETF could surpass Bitcoin's ETFs. We all know how Bitcoin ETF dominated 2024. Why do you think they know about this? Why do you think they're saying this? It's because of this community. Because they were seated at the table. They were seated at the World Economic Forum. They are insiders. They are part of this group, this elite group that meets once a year. So they know about this. So they're putting out articles, not because they just feel like writing something cute, but because they were seated at the table. They understand that now the case study for tokenization is, first and foremost, we need smart contracts. Which one is the largest smart contract with the largest market share of real world assets? It's Ethereum. Okay, who has the largest? Who is dominating in terms of infrastructure building? Well, because this is required, we need to rebuild the infrastructure, a whole new one. Ours is outdated. It's back from the 70s. We need distributed ledger technology to build infrastructure that are up to date, up to par with the 21st century. And this is what's being built, has been built. They're even telling us here, look at what they're telling us. Now, after years of investments, we didn't know about this. The public doesn't know about this, but they've been doing it in the background. They even have proof of concepts. They've done testing. And they're even telling us planets are aligning and tokenization of financial assets is finally happening. And then we see how the largest cloud computing infrastructure IT service provider, Amazon, already even secured a domain name, Amazon Ethereum. What else do we need? I mean, we are literally being slapped in the face with all this information. It's right in front of us. So no need to panic, community. If we see the markets behaving like this, we just know that, okay, we know why. It's because the incoming chairman has said that they're not seeing it fit of having Bitcoin in the reserve. And they're not being pressured because they did their homework. They were literally at the meeting at the World Economic Forum. So Bitcoin is not on the agenda. They're thinking of dominating finance. And if you want to dominate global finance, you need to do the following, like that is told us here. And if you can meet these obligations, you'll be the global leader. Pick your smart contract of choice. Done, Ethereum. Build a new infrastructure backbone. Done, already secured a domain name. Use it for collateral. Done, we already have that. Because our systems are from the 70s, we need to use the blockchain technology for what it is. The sad thing, community, is that these traditional financial institutions are using the blockchain technology for what it really is, technology. They're making the best out of it by using it to address challenges. They look at these challenges as opportunities. But we retailers are using it for meme coins, just bringing out million meme coins a month. While real money, smart money, solution-oriented are literally bringing out solutions, literally solving problems. This is why they're locking themselves up once a year in Davos, sitting together, telling each other, hey, we need to update our infrastructures. Come on, Amazon, you guys are the best at it. Do it. Okay, what else do we need? Well, we need collateral, but we can't use collateral on our infrastructure that is old. So we are requiring a new infrastructure backbone. Okay, Ethereum, you guys, we chose you. You never shut down. You never broke down. Even you never been DDoSed. Like since the inception, it's never stopped running, right? So we choose that Ethereum. We building a new infrastructure backbone on it for collateral. We are done. We are dominating the global finance. That's how you move if you want to remain the global reserve currency. And you also focus on what was said here. This is exactly what, at the end of the day, this is what they're aiming for. They're aiming for the derivatives market, which is at $1 quadrillion, and the other market that they say $225 trillion or $255 trillion market. So this is all about how they can benefit themselves. And all of this in mind, this is why Bernstein and Bitcoin Swiss, they sit at the table at the World Economic Forum. This is why they can boldly say that their biggest projection for 2025 is that Ethereum staking ETFs will surpass or could surpass Bitcoins. This is a big statement because Bitcoin already hit 32 billion in net inflows. So imagine, without any staking, without any yield of up to 4%. So this is a big statement, community. So what does all this mean? Remember, like we discussed in our previous community event, Trump, who launched his family's crypto platform, World Liberty Finance. This is a lending platform. It's a lending platform. So, and they're heavily invested in it. They'll receive 75% of all the revenue generated from this lending platform. And 20% goes to Aave, like we discussed. So the developers of this platform, they keep only 5% in revenue. And this is what Trump is heavily invested in DeFi. He has his own family crypto platform. His sons are advisors on there. So what do you think is going to do for DeFi, right? So regulations are on Ethereum. Here we see Ethereum, like we said earlier, right? If you look at everything, all the blockchains combined, value locked is 130 billion locked value. But if you just look at Ethereum on its own versus the 130 billion, you see 70 billion is on, so that's roughly 57% is on Ethereum alone. One thing I want to highlight here, community, you might ask, well, Steve, what point are you trying to make? Even if we look at stablecoins on Ethereum, 110 billion stablecoin on Ethereum. If we go all, we see that that's 204. So another more than 60%, 55, 56% again of all stablecoins are on Ethereum. All locked value, 60% of that is on Ethereum already. So why are we pointing this out? Why are we talking about this? It's because many people, community, confuse Bitcoin's dominance in market cap with the fundamentals that actually matter, that Ethereum is actually dominating and leading in. Look at locked value for Ethereum, for example. Don't just take my word for it. If you focus on the locked value for Ethereum, how much do we see here? 72 billion, right? If we go to Bitcoin, how much do they have? Right below 7 billion. So 10 times less value is locked on Bitcoin than they have on Ethereum. Now, look at how stable coins, 110 billion. Bitcoin doesn't even have stable coins, right? So if it comes to liquidity, value locked on a blockchain, Ethereum is more liquid, has more value locked, has more stable coins locked in there than Bitcoin. But we are so carried away and fascinated by this list here known as CoinMarketCap, instead of listing projects, cryptocurrencies based on their fundamentals, based on how liquid they are, based on how deflationary they are, based on how sustainable incentives that they have. They're just simply listing them by market cap. So yes, Bitcoin dominates in terms of market cap, but Ethereum dominates if it comes to fundamentals, if it comes to liquidity, if it comes to developers, if it comes to stablecoin and real-world assets, if it comes to blockchain technology, smart contracts and applications built on it, DeFi in general. Don't take my word for it. Let's look at Ethereum. Look at Aave, lending platform, restaking platform, Eigenlayer, Lido, restaking. And then we have dexes like Uniswap and so on and so forth, right? We have Curve Finance, we have Rocket Pool, we have all these different smart contracts applications, right? If you go to Bitcoin, they only have restaking, and they are copying, literally trying to be Ethereum by copying and offering staking capabilities on Bitcoin. So what are we saying here? This is not about making Bitcoin look bad. I don't want us to miss the message here. The message is that we are being often misled by thinking that only because a cryptocurrency has a high market cap, that's the foundation, that's the fundamental. No. If you want to learn about fundamentals, look at how much liquidity it has. How does it have sustainable incentives in terms of staking rewards? Is it deflationary, right? Is it not causing inflation? And is it using its volume efficiently? Does it solve those 4 challenges in the space? Those are the things we should focus on and look for, and not just be fascinated by market cap. Because market cap doesn't help the community, doesn't help the cryptocurrency, unless you just want to be listed on CoinMarketCap and boast about how much market cap you have. But how many projects are built on you? Are you even being discussed at the World Economic Forum? Are you part of the World Economic Forum agenda? Are you part of the asset tokenization? Are you part of smart contracts that is needed? Where is it? Right here. So are you part of this? Are you part of the smart contracts agenda? Are you part of the tokenization? Are you part of having Amazon building a whole new infrastructure backbone on you? Do you have BlackRock having a liquidity bid collateral management built on top of your smart contract blockchain? Do you have that? Are you in that conversation? Are you out solving a challenge of the current system that is outdated, and is a new infrastructure being built on top of your blockchain? These are the things you should ask ourselves. And are you working towards using the blockchain technology for what it was meant, beyond just buying and holding? What else can it do besides just buying and holding? Can you trade? Can you stake it? Can you borrow and lend? Can you build a global finance on that blockchain? Are you part of the World Economic Forum agenda? Ask yourself this question about your blockchain. And if you're not even being discussed at the World Economic Forum, if you're not having smart contracts, if you're not being used to be built, to be part of a large game plan, which is collateral management at the end of the day, to take part of these large markets in the quadrillions of dollars or hundreds of trillions of dollars, then why are you so proud of, if you're not part of freeing up liquidity, being more efficient, addressing challenges? Why are you so proud of being listed based on your market cap? So if you ask yourself, do you want to be listed based on your market cap, or do you want to be discussed at the World Economic Forum for having Amazon building your infrastructure, having the largest smart contracts blockchain, servicing as liquidity, having infrastructures built for collateralization by BlackRock and JP Morgan, and having on-ramp and off-ramp platforms built by the likes of MasterCard, Visa, Swift wants to be part of that. Stripe is on it as well, you know? So at the end of the day, what does all this mean to us, community? You might ask yourself. So, okay, this is all good, but what does that mean to us? We now understand what it means to us as an industry. But now let's zoom in, Steve. Let's look at it on our level, community level. What does that mean? This means that, first of all, we're on the right blockchain. All our three tokens, all of them, Survivor, Killer Whale, Bullrun. Survivor and Killer Whale are even paired with Ethereum. How do we address, as Bullrun ecosystem, how are we addressing these four challenges that need to be addressed to make the most out of what's coming? Now that we know that World Economic Forum has chosen Ethereum, and BlackRock and JP Morgan have already established tokenization and collateralization infrastructures on the chain. BIDL is already put in place, paired with USDC, to provide liquidity for all these tokenized assets. And then we have Amazon already secured the domain name to be the builder of the infrastructure, to update the financial infrastructure. That's what's needed. That's what's on the agenda on the World Economic Forum. Meme coins are not being discussed at the World Economic Forum. This is why it goes all to Solana. But if it comes to Ethereum, we're talking about real infrastructure led by the likes of Amazon, BlackRock, JP Morgan. They're building solutions on Ethereum. What does this mean to us? This means that you need to retain liquidity. You need to retain liquidity because there'll be so much liquidity being flooded in here. And now that stablecoin regulations are on the top priority agenda, real world assets are on the top priority of the agenda. Where are all those taking place? On Ethereum. So where do you think liquidity is going to come to? To Ethereum. Is your ecosystem ready to take advantage of that and retain all the liquidity? Yes, we have. 3% of that is going to be retained. Are you going to use this opportunity to be scarce, if not at least deflationary? Yes, we are scarce. We'll be scarce by burning supply, decreasing it. Are you going to, do you have an ecosystem, a flywheel effect that is literally having a sustainable staking distributions? Yes, we're using the volume efficiently to accumulate USDC distributions for those who are participating in securing and stabilizing the network, the ecosystem, Bullrun ecosystem, right? So we are addressing these four challenges: lack of liquidity, inflation, unsustainable staking distributions, and we're doing that efficiently by using our volume efficiently. So if you don't have these mechanisms in your ecosystem, you're going to miss out on the largest bull cycle ever, and it's all going to take place right in front of our backyard on Ethereum. And this is what we need to understand. Each time we see the markets bleed, or people panicking and rushing, and you hear all these tweets going out and videos on YouTube, let's take a deep breath and understand what's happening, why it's happening. It's because the promises made by Trump in regards to Bitcoin reserve. In reality, even though these individuals are pro crypto, but they also have common sense to realize that, and this is what French Hill was saying, not me, French Hill was saying that he's interested, but he's not convinced. And they don't hodl, they usually sell back those assets into the public. That's what they usually do. And they don't feel pressured, they actually do their homework. And whoever thinks differently was not at the table when the meeting took place in Davos at the World Economic Forum. So those who were sitting at the table in Switzerland at the Davos meeting, they're all on the same page. This is why Microsoft gladly declined by 99.95%, and they're the third out of the bunch. It's Amazon with over 50%, and then Google with 28%, and then Microsoft with 20%. Amazon is always the pioneer. They always have the fast mover. They're always the fast movers, and then everybody else follows. Follow where the money is, follow where the developers are, follow where the liquidity is. And it's all on Ethereum. And if you don't have an ecosystem that addresses these 4 challenges, you're going to miss out. So community, let's stay calm. We're on the right track, like we read here. Even the beautiful thing is, this is not even me saying it. This is the World Economic Forum. They are so excited that, look at what they're saying. They're excited, saying that now, after years of investment and building and developing, after proof of concepts and testing, the planets, even not just the stars, the planets are aligning, and tokenization of financial assets finally happening at an institutional governmental level. This shift will forever change the way that nations trade and promote, right? These individuals are building things, building infrastructures, solving challenges, while crypto natives are busy pumping out meme coins left and right, rugging people. We should be ashamed of ourselves as an industry, right? We should be focusing on solving challenges. Let's use this smart contracts, this blockchain technology to its fullest potential. It's not just about pumping tokens. It's about solving challenges. What are you solving? What are you doing? What's your end game? What value are you adding to your community? Will you participate? Can't you see what World Economic Forum's plans are? And all this liquidity coming through collateral on the Ethereum blockchain. And they're working on building a new infrastructure backbone, like we see here, right? Because it's an old system right now, back in the 70s. So if we don't participate and take part of this, we'll miss out. And then you have to wait another 4 years or 8 years. Who knows if you'll ever go through another bull cycle, right? So like we said, this is what we're all about, community. And this is what the Bullrun ecosystem is all about. It's all about identifying challenges, first of all, and then using those challenges as opportunities, and then develop an ecosystem that is addressing it. Lack of liquidity, inflation, unsustainable staking distributions, inefficient use of volume, all that is addressed using smart contracts, right? Using smart contracts. So this is what this session was all about. If you want to build a global financial system on blockchain, we just got a blueprint by the World Economic Forum. This is what you need to do. You need to start with the largest smart contracts blockchain. And then you're required to build a new infrastructure backbone and use it as collateral management. And then what else? We need to upgrade it because it's outdated. We need to bring it on. We need to use this technology for what it was intended to do. Let's bring it up to speed, up to date with the 21st century by streamlining, automating it. Let's reduce operational costs, improve efficiencies, right? So this is what it's all about. Be efficient, be sustainable, address challenges, turn challenges into solutions, and inform, educate the community, and bring calmness into the community, right? If a community is informed and educated, there is no panic, there is no no FUD or anything, but we understand why things are happening, right? So this is it today, community. If it's good enough for the World Economic Forum, it's definitely good enough for us, right? And it's always good for us to be a step ahead and understand what's happening. And this is why should we be relaxed? Is because we understand that we're on the right blockchain at the right time before all this flooding is about to come. 2025, these are not my words. I mean, even though we discussed it at my last community event, this is what I played at the beginning of the session. But we understand what French Hill said. He has 3 agendas for 2025, and none of them is Bitcoin. So 2024 is for Bitcoin. 2025 is for stable coins, market structure, and real world assets. That's it. Where are the most stable coins and real world assets? They're on Ethereum. They're on Ethereum. And now we saw what the agenda is for the World Economic Forum as well. That's it for today, community. Let me share my screen back again, so we can go through your comments or your feedbacks or your questions on our side. That's it for today. All right. Let me come to the community. Great brother Theo says, greetings, my great brother Steve, dearest great Queen Mama Wino, and my awesome BRL family. Looking quite forward to hearing our professor share his wisdom regarding his this new global financial system. I hope that you had something to take away with you. Like we always encourage the community to use these sessions as a point of reference, to do further research on your own. Always double check, triple check, verify yourselves, do your own research, as that will give us a more solid understanding in an otherwise very emotional market. Thanks again for everything, great one. Thank you too, my great brother Theo. Always a pleasure reading from you. I hope you and yours are doing fantastic. My great brother Abdullah, he says, hello Bullrun family. Exciting times ahead as cryptocurrencies revolutionize global finance. Looking forward to today's event to explore Bullrun, Killer Whale, and Survivor together. Thank you so much, my great brother Abdullahi. You're very much appreciated for your leadership, your consistency, your positive energy that you spread that is so contagious. You're very much appreciated. Thanks for your feedback. Queen Maria says, evening family, evening King Steve. I look forward to another mind-blowing presentation. May God bless you and the whole family. Thank you so much, Queen Maria. May you also be blessed, you and yours as well. We appreciate you for participating in today's event. Queen Lati says, greetings, Bullrun family. Another exciting moment to hear from our King Steve, the professor of crypto. Take us on our hero. Thank you so much, Queen Lati. You're very, very much appreciated for your consistency, your leadership as well. Very, very much appreciated. We have Queen Val says, hello family, happy Thursday to us all. Happy Thursday to you too, Queen Val. You're very much appreciated as well for all these beautiful banners that you make for your daily Zoom participations and offering your services to the community, and also just being a wonderful person like you are. Queen Patricia says, greetings family. Thank you, Steve, and thank you for your dedication. Stay protected and blessed always. Thank you so much, Queen Patricia, for your kind words. Yeah, thank you for your consistency as well, for always being part of these sessions. Your leadership, your consistency is also very, very much appreciated. Queen Val has put some links here for our Telegram groups. This is for the Bullrun community. We have Killer Whale and Survivor here as well. So those who are not part of the communities, these communities yet, feel free to join them. as we are very active we have various events a week, like we said, on Twitter and also on YouTube, as you see today. And talking about that, we are going to be doing Twitter twice, on Saturday and on Monday as well, as we aim to reach as many people as possible as we are entering into this bull cycle. And we see that Twitter Space is really a platform where we have a really big reach, that we can reach as many people as possible, and also have newcomers join our Twitter Spaces, that they can ask questions there. They can also listen in, tune in, and just take advantage of our sessions as well. So we're just going to add Saturdays to do Twitter Space as well, just so we're on the same page, community, starting this Saturday, actually. Queen Alice says, greetings, King Steve, Queen Mother and family. Looking forward to learning. Salute our developer for always educating us tirelessly. Blessings. Thank you so much, Queen Alice. You're very much appreciated. Also for consistently being part of these sessions. Your positive energy is contagious, and you're very much appreciated as well. Queen Grace says, it's another beautiful day to receive more knowledge from our own, very own Dev Steve. We love and appreciate your labor of love to us as a community, together with our Mama Wino. God bless you mightily. Thank you so much for your very warm and sincere words. Very much appreciated, Queen Grace. May you and yours also be blessed. May you be favored. We appreciate your commitment, your consistency as well. Thank you for all the efforts you put in within the community as well. You're very much appreciated. Queen Kube says, greetings, Bullrun family and King Steve. Another exciting and informative session. Thank you for dedicating your time to educate us. Thank you so much, Queen Kobe, for participating in these events. It's a pleasure. It's really a pleasure, as I see myself just as part of this community, of course, and I'm just putting in my 2 cents and just chipping in my share of contribution. And it's community driven. It's not a one-woman show. It's not a one-man show. Everybody just chips in and puts in effort as they can to benefit us all as a community, right? Queen Viola says, hello, Bullrun family. Happy to be here again. Thumbs up to our brother Steve and our dear Mama Wino for the great job they are doing. And yeah, thank you so much, Queen Viola. You're very, very much appreciated. Thank you for participating. Thank you for your feedbacks. Queen Gloria says, greetings, family. Greetings right back to you as well, Queen Gloria. We have Queen Cynthia saying, greetings, Bullrun community. Education will be the only motivation for all of us who plan to make generational wealth during this bull cycle. The volatility and uncertainty sway the market. Absolutely. And I hope the takeaway of the reasoning behind all this volatility today and the market crash of up to, I think it was around 9%. Now we understand why, and if we're informed and educated, we remain calm and we understand why all of these things are happening around us. This is why it's always important to also be on top of the news, on top of the current events, on macroeconomic ways, geopolitics, monetary systems, inflation-wise. We need to know all of these things, right? So we are always informed. Queen Mother Wino says, greetings, family. It is amazing what we can accomplish if we do not care who gets the credit. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. This is beautifully said, and this is what it's all about. It's not about being in the limelight and taking credits, but it's about community working together, right? It's about growing together, winning together. There's nothing more beautiful than that. Thank you so much for your input, Mom. Thanks to our incredible, determined, and informed community. Thanks, Steve, for leading by example and for another insightful session. Thank you so much, Mom, as well, for you also leading by example as well. And yes, we thank the community. We have an incredible community. We have an amazing community that is very consistent, very committed, and we are on the same page. It's beautiful to be part of this community, and I just commend all of you for all your input and your feedbacks that you're putting in today and always participating. We will achieve where we need to go, and I will be there regardless. Like we say, there's only a plan A community. There's no plan B or C or D. There's only one plan, and that's moving forward, being consistent and winning, right? Uncle George says, greetings to Mwalimu Steve, Mama Wino, and the Bullrun community. Very grateful for the very informative educationals, without which we'd be I don't know that regardless. We're focused despite current unstable market. Absolutely. Well said, Uncle George. Well said. We need to stay focused despite current unstable markets. We need to stay focused. We shouldn't be swayed. This is why it's important for us to always be informed, know what's happening, so that we're not caught off guard, we're not caught unaware. We always move with the current events, with exactly what's happening, and this is the mindset we should always have, right? We're on top of things, and we understand why things are happening. Queen Joyce says, a beautiful evening, family. It's good to be part of the learning team. We salute you, Steve, for your commitment. We salute you too, Queen Joyce, for your commitment as well, and for your consistency in the community. You're very, very much appreciated. Thank you for your kind and well wishes. Greetings, Queen Mona Metsi says, greetings, our developers and the entire Bullrun family, ready for yet another session where we get educated, informed, and inspired. I hope that you are able to take away something from today, Queen Mona Metsi, and it's a pleasure having you in the community. Queen Beatrice says, greetings, Bullrun family. We are here for yet another informative session. I hope that you were able to take away something today, Queen Beatrice. Nice to see you in the community. Queen Belinda says, network, keep on kicking me, but we'll keep on reconnecting. Evening all. I hope that you're able to sort it out, Queen Belinda. Yes, technology sometimes is out of our hands. Queen Gladys says, greetings, BRL family. Greetings back to you too, Queen Gladys. Queen Marigi says, greetings, Brother Steve, Mom, Queen Awino, and Bullrun family. I'm blessed to be part of this. We are blessed having you with us, Queen Emily. Thank you for participating today as well. There's a question here. Now we are in the deep. How long will it take to get our rise now that the regulations are not yet in place? Curious. How long will it take to get our rise? Like I said, in the markets, it's a very emotional market, and people go on anticipations. You would think that since yesterday, the interest rates were cut, you would think that the markets should be going up because all the good news. But now, even though it was cut, but because like what we discussed today in today's session and the points we pointed out, the market is always forward thinking. They're always forward thinking. It's always based on anticipation. And this is why information and being informed and educated and anticipate things before it's a reality, it's so important. So people bet on their forward thinking, what's coming in the future. And this is exactly what we discussed today. And this is what's causing all this dip and all the market shift. Even though actually the interest rates were cut, it was priced in already. The market already anticipated that. But now what they didn't count was what we discussed. The third reason is when that the Bitcoin reserve, it was all over the news. Michael Saylor was talking about that. It's supposed to be adopted by every nation, started with the US, and yes, Trump promised us and all this. But then slowly, we're starting to see, and we heard today from French Hill's own mouth that he's not convinced, and that they don't tend to hodl on assets. They actually usually sell it back to the public, and they're not pressured by everybody talking about Bitcoin reserves. They're not pressured by it because they said in his words that he did his homework. It's about doing your homework, and it's about being part of the clique at the World Economic Forum. So obviously, some people are not part of that, and they didn't get the memo, right? And that's how it works, community. This is why it's always good to be informed and to be ahead of things. Queen Mother Caroline says, thank you for enlightening us today. Where would we be without your knowledge about what's happening in the blockchain industry? You are the best. Thank you so much, ma'am. I really appreciate you, Ma'am Caroline. It's always a pleasure seeing you in the community. You're such an inspiration, and we go such a long way. And you really, truly are a sister to mom and a mother to myself. So thank you so much for your kind words and encouragement. Queen Patricia says, hello, Bullrun family. Thanks to you, Brother Steve. What you have been teaching all along is falling into place with Bullrun ecosystem. Way ahead of the game and well said. Success is all we know. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. This is right on point. We might as well just end this session on this high note right here. It's very true. Success is all we aim for, and we don't take anything else than success. Why? Because we put in the effort, we put in the consistency, and that's the formula to succeed. You're resilient, you're consistent, you put in the effort. How can we fail? We on top of the markets, we on top of the news, we informed, we educated, we work as a unit. We're not swayed by whatever challenges thrown at us. We just keep moving one step at a time. How can we fail, community? It's impossible. It's impossible. So well said, Queen Patricia. Queen Val says to engage with the like button, to engage with today's video, as it will make sure that it reaches as many people as possible. So this is very important for us, community. Let's ensure that we do so. Thank you, Queen Val, for reminding us to do so. Queen Aloshi says, greetings, Bullrun family. Thank you, Dev Steve and Queen Awena, for the assurance that our crypto vehicle is in the right place and direction. We shall surely stay calm, waiting for takeoff. Beautifully said, Queen Aloshi. Well said. And we all need that, right? This is why we do these sessions. We have these events on a regular basis. We're all humans after all, right? And life is bigger than crypto. So we all need some encouragement. We all need some guidance sometimes. We all need a shake-up sometimes so that we can move forward together as a community. Brother Dave says, thanks for another amazing session, my brother. I always say, as far as tokenomics and giving a yield, BRL is number one, Ethereum is number two. Well said, Brother Dave. Well said. Well said. It's all about, and that's the beautiful thing, is it will end up being all about fundamentals. At the end of the day, with what we've learned today, what we see the World Economic Forum is planning, they're coming with solutions. They have an agenda. They have an end game, right? And we as crypto enthusiasts, what is our end game? Let's ask ourselves, what is our end game? What are we adding? What value are we adding? Do we have an ecosystem that is built to be around, to take make the most out of this gold rush, literally liquidity rush that is about to come, and all this volume and all these infrastructure changes that are coming? It's important for us to be ready and to anticipate it, right? And not to be caught off guard. Queen Kasira says, you're such a blessing to us all. May Lord watch over you. More grace. We appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're very much appreciated, Queen Felgona. Your kind words, may it go back to you as well. May you and yours be also blessed and safe. And you're also very much appreciated. Queen Debbie says, greetings to you, community. What an awesome session. always informed ahead of time. This is what I love about our ecosystem. Blessings to you, my brother Steve, and greetings to Queen Mother. Thank you so much, Queen Deborah. You're very, very much appreciated. Thank you for your consistency. Thank you for your leadership on Sundays, coordinating, encouraging, uplifting the queens as well, along with other queens as well. Your efforts, your commitment, your consistency is very, very much appreciated. Queen Falgona says, Mama Awino, you're blessed. Thank you so much. May you also be blessed, Queen Falgona. My brother Theo says, if it's good enough for the World Economic, if it's good enough for the World Economic Forum, it's good enough for us. We'll say in general. Beautiful, beautiful. Queen, brother, my great brother Theo, we need a T-shirt like that, in all different colors. Black and gold will fit it well with that print on it. If it's good enough for World Economic Forum, it's good enough for us. Beautiful. I'm glad that you caught up on that. Great brother Theo further says, thank you for the phenomenal session, great one, and thank you for continuing to educate, inspire, and empower us all. You are very much appreciated. Thanks again for everything. Thank you too, great brother Theo, for your input. You're very, very much appreciated as well. Thank you for your kind words. I hope you and yours are doing great and are in good health. In test, thank you. Thank you to Brother Solomon. Happy to have you here with us today. And Queen Evelyn says 2025 is for real world assets, stable coins, Ethereum. Steve, you have made my day. Thank you for a great session. We are World Economic Forum, had all our answered questions. Ethereum is 2025 and beyond. Thank you so much, Queen Evelyn. You're very, very much appreciated. Thank you for your participation today. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for your well wishes. I'm glad that you had something to take away today. Always view these sessions as a point of reference. Do further research. We have over 300 recorded YouTube videos, VCs, and Twitter Spaces. So we have all sorts of information on various topics, geopolitics, monetary system, inflation, liquidity, sustainability, challenges in the space, so many things that we have, many topics. So I encourage us all to stay hungry, stay thirsty for information, and let's together get to where we need to get. This is a great way to end this session today. Thank you, Queen Evelyn. Thank you for every queen and every king in today's session. Thank you for your feedbacks, your participation. You made this a very interesting session. I want to thank you all and wish you a wonderful rest of your week. As we approach the end of this year, I want to wish you and yours safety, a sound mind. Let's remain strong and vigilant. Let's remain consistent. And step by step, one step at a time, everything that is being thrown at us, we just keep one foot forward, right? We just take one step at a time. And the beautiful thing is we are in it together, right? We're in it together, and we are not fighting individual on our own, but rather we are working together as a community. With that said, I want to thank you all for participating. Those who have not yet, let's engage with the tweets. They're all out. And also let's engage with today's video as it will reach as many people as possible. And that's the aim, right? To have a deep reach by simply interacting with the video today. Maybe you can comment on what your takeaway of today's session, or whatever the case may be. People usually like to run down to the comments and read. I'm one of those people, right? I always like to see what the comments is saying. So before or while I'm listening to that specific video. So let's engage with the video community. Let's reach as many people as possible. Let's bring awareness to our industry, to our ecosystem, and let's put the word out, right? This is what it's all about. Thank you for your efforts, community. You are all very, very much appreciated. May you stay blessed, you and yours. Stay safe as we're approaching New Year's, end of the year. It's been a wonderful year with all of us, with all the efforts, and no matter what comes our way, one step at a time, we'll go through it until we reach our ultimate goal together as a community. With that said, bye-bye, everyone. Until we meet again, have a wonderful time.